Okay, it's 1 p.m. Let's get started. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Digital Presence Toolkit webinar presented by Ms. Ronnie Ramos from Harmony 3 Productions. Today's session is our third session, and we'll explore Canva for business. My name is Jeannie Yang, and I'm a business and loan counselor at PACE. Thank you for joining us today. This webinar is brought to you in partnership with the City of LA Economic and Workforce Development Department, EWDD, and BusinessSource Pico-Union Westlake region, operated by PACE Business Development Center. This webinar will be recorded, and at the end of the webinar, you'll be asked to participate on our survey. So please make sure you complete the survey. And before we learn something new today, let me do a quick introduction on PACE. Pacific Asian Consortium in Employment. We are a 501c nonprofit organization. And we try to get the community together to develop, to create more equal and helpful solutions to meet the employment, education, housing, environmental, and business development challenges of low-income residents in the Pacific Asian and other diverse communities in Los Angeles. We offer one-on-one business counseling, credit and asset building, business and financial plan development, webinars and training, just like today's, to help you start a brand new business or help provide more assistance with your existing business. We can also guide you through the procurement contract if you are interested in getting into the procurement contracts with private companies or public companies. The greatest fact is that all our services are free of charge. So if you have any questions about our services, programs, or lending products, please visit our website, pacelabdc.org, for more information. All right, let's dive into our topic of the day. Pleasure to have you with us, Ronnie. Let's
Thank
get
you
started.
so much. And I saw a question in chat. They're asking about the video. Can you tell them where they'll see the video and when? The replay of the webinar.
The replay, yes. The recording will be available under our website, and I'll post the link to our website.
Perfect. And if you
Okay,
do have questions, please post in chat. It's easier for me to see chat rather than going back and trying to see Q&A. So if you can post in chat, it's all helpful for me. Today, we're going to be talking about using Canva for business. Let me know in chat, are you using Canva now? Are you new to it? Or have you been using it or just looking for some helpful tips? Either way, I want to make this webinar today really tailored to you and what you're looking to get out of it. In this day of AI, this is really me here with you for an hour. So whatever questions you have about Canva or digital marketing, start posting them in chat because I will be looking over there throughout the webinar. And like I said, I really want to make this a conversation between us. I want to be able to answer your questions in real time. So my business, Harmony 3 Productions, we do this stuff every day. We're called digital creators. So we do photography and video and work with all the new AI tools that are available out there. There's so much new happening every day. And it's nice to know that it's not as hard as you think to dive in. And Canva is one of the most user-friendly tools I've found out there. So I hope that you get amazed with the potential for all of these tools, specifically Canva today. I'd love to connect with you on LinkedIn. I'm LinkedIn, Ronnie Ramos, and on most other social, I'm under my company name, which is Harmony 3 Productions. If you want my best tips on a semi-regular basis, go ahead and scan the QR code, or like we said, you'll get a copy of the webinar presentation. My newsletter is things that I'm not quite ready to do a full webinar on, but I'm experimenting with and want to let you know things that I'm playing with, things that I think are fabulous in the making, or sometimes just random bits of encouragement. Alrighty. Canva, to me, using it in conjunction with an AI tool, and I use ChatGPT, makes it so I can think it and then actually make it. So content creation, that means everything that you're creating to promote your business online. these days, I think, is the foundation of getting your message out there. Creating great content, whether it's images or videos or blogs or posts on Twitter, that's promoting, it's marketing your brand. It's digital marketing for your brand and starting with brand awareness. The content that you create can showcase your experience, your values, and especially your brand voice. And what I mean by that is how people see you online should be consistent. That's the voice of your brand, whether it's your website, your newsletter, your email marketing, your content that you're creating on Canva, your video, all of it should look like you. That consistency is really critical. It helps you stay top of mind when somebody sees anything that you've created. They recognize it as your brand. Let's see, I see a couple of questions here. Sherry is saying she loves Canva, uses it for all marketing and social media. 100%. I do too, and I use it like that for my clients. So we are on the same page. And when I say consistency, I mean consistency in your content, both in the style, the look and feel of it, and your posting schedule, because that consistency helps build trust. It keeps your audience engaged, and it keeps the algorithm interested. Algorithms tend to love consistency. So today I really want to focus on how Canva can really become your weekly content machine. I'm all about making things easier. With the amount of content we all have to create, it's not easy. I would admit that. But there are tools, including Canva and ChatGPT, to make it easier. I love the idea to stop creating from scratch, but to build a content system, and Canva just becomes your production line. A lot of people, when they open Canva, they kind of hunt and peck for ideas, templates that they like. What am I going to create today? This is about turning Canva into a weekly system so you always know what you're going to post. You're not waking up on Tuesday morning going, I need to make a post today. Although I'll tell you, sometimes I still do that. But it's how to reuse and how to stay consistent without always living in that starting from scratch mode. So here's my shortcut. It's coming up with 3 pillars for your business. That way you never have to wonder what you're going to post about. So for example, and this really could apply to any business, 3 pillars could be what you teach, that's sharing your experience and knowledge with your audience, what you sell, showcasing your product or your services, and what you've learned. These are telling stories about your journey and your experiences, commonly referred to as behind the scenes or BTS. Everybody likes a little bit of that behind the scenes. They like to see how things are done. So when you choose 3 pillars for your business, Canva gets easier because you're not designing random things. You're rotating through these themes that you know your audience already wants, and your content can all of a sudden become much more consistent. Each of those pillars can work for any business, but how you give the information in those pillars is related to you and specifically your audience. So what you teach will be what your audience wants to know. What you sell, what your audience needs or would be helpful to them. And what you've learned, things that would be valuable to them. All of us have an ideal audience, and all of us, our ideal audience is a little bit different from everybody else. In Canva, you have a brand kit utilizing that, and that is in the paid version. And you can, if you don't have the paid version, you can still consistently be on brand, but it just takes a little bit of more work. But if you're in the paid version, set up your brand kit because it makes it so much easier to stay on brand and have the look and feel of your brand voice consistent across everything you're creating. In your brand kit, you would have the typography that you use, typically a minimum of 2 types of fonts, your headline font and your body font. So keep it simple. Usually 1 bold font for headlines and 1 clean font for your body text. Then you're always going to have your brand elements. That would be your logo and your tagline. That's your visual identity right there in one place. And your color palette. Start with 3 main colors. You don't want to have like 7 or 8 main colors, because it's too much. Keep it minimal. 3 main colors and maybe 2 accents. These are your core brand colors, plus 2 accents you can use just for a little bit of variety. And then Canva in your brand kit has a place where you can upload photos or videos that you want to stay on brand with. It's like your cheat sheet for what things reflect your brand best. These can define your aesthetic, so every image can feel cohesive. Your brand kit is not about being fancy, it's about being faster. The goal is to remove any decision fatigue, so everything becomes plug and play. You don't have to be like, where is my logo? Where did I put that? It's all right there in your brand kit in Canva. All right. Now, a carousel blueprint is referring to a type of post, a carousel post. Carousel posts right now are getting a lot of engagement, so if you are not doing them, I would suggest to try. But basically, it's multiple images that you're uploading together to the different platforms, so people have to scroll through it. So your post is actually multiple images, right? And Canva has many carousel examples or templates that you can work with. But if you're thinking about what are you going to say in that carousel post, here's a blueprint you can use. The problem. Start with why it hurts. And again, this is for your audience. What is a pain point for them? That's the problem. Why it matters. What happens if they don't resolve this? The mistake. Call out why and what doesn't work. What are they doing wrong? And then the fix. You give them the solution. And an example, make it real. Maybe you show, a success story. And what about adding a checklist to that? So again, you're giving valuable, helpful information. And then the call to action at the end, that's asking for engagement. Did you find this post helpful? Like us for more information. Sign up for my newsletter. Go to this website. Go to this new webinar. Whatever you want them to do, that's your call to action. Canva, I think, works with the secret weapon of their repurposing and resizing. So say you get one idea, you can turn that into 6 different formats. Your post, this could be a still image post, your main social media graphic, right? So as an example, I have an event that we're putting on for small businesses later in the spring. So I'm going to follow this outline and to make my post about that. So the main social media graphic, that's where I start. I create the graphic that I'm going to use for everything. It will be utilized in some way, again, so it's recognizable every time I make a post about this event. Then I could make a carousel post utilizing the colors, the fonts, maybe even that graphic as a multi-slide educational content about the event. Then what about a story? Vertical format video, again, utilizing that original graphic. So everything starts from there. That's my guideline to keep everything looking the same, but I can even turn that into a video. And then a thumbnail for the video content obviously would be using that graphic. What about the email header that's going to go out and talk about that event? That banner should have that original image. And then what about LinkedIn? Absolutely. Though LinkedIn is more a professional platform, and I love LinkedIn for business, those posts should reflect that look and feel for that event. That event starts with that social media graphic that I'm going to tie in with all the other content that I'm creating. So you don't need more ideas. You need more mileage from the ideas that you're working on. So Canva makes it easy to repurpose really fast. All right. So the stop the scroll is what we're all aiming for. So here's my stop the scroll design formula. 1, you start with a big hook. something to get them to stop when you're scrolling through your phone. Something 5 to 7 words maybe that is an attention-grabbing headline, a powerful headline to get their interest. And then a tiny little support line. You're going to add a little bit of context without overwhelming them. And then one clear action. What do you want them to do? Comment, save, click, check out our website. That's your call to action. Tell them exactly what you want them to do next. Your design has one job: to earn the pause, the stop in the scroll. The big hook first, small context second, and then you keep that action, that call to action, super clear. All right. Now, snackable visuals, I mean short little snippets, beat paragraphs. These days we have no attention span, so let's lean into that. What about do versus don't? Show the right way versus the wrong way. In simple visual, you can get that across. What about myth versus truth? You can bust common misconceptions about your industry. What about before and afters? Show that actual transformation. What about a quick little 3-step checklist? Break down what you're telling them, what you're teaching them, the valuable information that you have into a simple process. And what about icons and 3 bullet points, visual shortcuts to key points that you can teach them about? CANVA is the best for turning information into visuals that people can absorb in seconds. If somebody has to zoom in to your content on your post because you've got little tiny type or too much information, it's too much, they're going to go on. All right. Let's talk about what if you have more than one person who's working for your business in your CANVA account, in your business CANVA account. You can set up a business account to have multiple people have access. But sometimes if multiple people get in there, they can mess things up. So let's talk about some templates that your team can't break. You can set up templates in projects in CANVA. You can also lock certain areas of that template so that they can't mess it up. You could lock where your logo goes. You could lock the layout of it. It protects your brand elements from accidental changes. You can keep your spacing, which is really important, by maintaining that correct spacing, how you want it to look, visual across all your designs. And as I said, you can set it up, they can change the text, but they can't change the spacing, they can't change the fonts. You can make it clear what can be customized. And you can include headline options even in the template itself. You can give them examples to guide them. So if multiple people are touching the designs in CANVA, templates that you create and lock can save your sanity. Lock what shouldn't move and build that safe structure so everything stays on brand. Now, CANVA also has a video editor that is fabulous and is just getting better. It looks very high-end without being very hard. Same thing with the post. Just a quick outline you can repeatedly use. A bold headline. You're going to start with impact. That's the same as a post. That's your hook. Then 3 fast lines. Keep that message tight. I do recommend that your scenes in the videos that you're creating are quick cuts. People, if they have to just stare at one thing, they're going to move on. Keep those cuts maybe 2 seconds, beyond 2 to 3 seconds. That's long in terms of a visual in a video. One photo or one clip supports a simple concept. And then definitely use captions and subtle bits of motion in between the scenes. So that would be your transitions and captions. Absolutely, you must, as a business owner, keep your content accessible. So captions are a great way to do that. And for short form video, keep it under 10 seconds. Respect the attention spans that we no longer seem to have as humans. You don't need complicated editing, you need a rhythm. So short videos with captions and light movement in your transitions feel polished and they perform really, really well. All right. Now, the 60-minute Canva sprint, and then you're done for the week. You could, in an hour, create one carousel post with, say, 7 slides, your main educational piece. Then 2 simple posts that could be quick engagement type of content. Maybe 1 story, so I mean a video story template, behind the scenes or updates, and then 1 thumbnail for that, because typically if you don't add a thumbnail to your videos, it's going to pick something if you're talking with your eyes shut or your mouth open. But if you can create a thumbnail that lets people know, even before the video starts playing, what it's about, create that. And then 1 email headline, 1 email newsline head, 1 email header for your newsletter. You can do all that in a week. In an hour, if you post that throughout the week, that's a lot of consistent content. Finish it, schedule it, move on. 1 focused sprint of time, and you're done. Canva becomes a business tool, not a time trap. Consistency wins, absolutely not perfection. Okay, let's dive in. So what I would ask now is, if you are willing to be a participant with me, post in chat what type of business you have, and then we can unmute and you'll tell me what type of post you want to look at. I'll show you how I would create that using ChatGPT and Canva. Since I made this presentation in Canva, which is super handy, all I have to do is go into my Canva account. When you log into yours, I am showing it in the paid account. That's what I have. Everything in the free account, you kind of have to purchase whatever you need bit by bit. And in the paid account, everything is included. But there are some things, even in the paid account, and I'll show you specifically on music, to be careful of, that you're using things that you are licensed to use for a business. Okay, so let me see a couple of people who want to let me know in chat what type of business you have, and then go ahead and raise your hand in the Zoom panel. Give me a hand raise, and we can unmute you. Okay, let's see. All right, Samuel, I'm going to allow you to talk. Samuel, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Ronnie.
Perfect, thank you. All right, so you posted in chat STEM-oriented workforce education and training. So what would you be looking to create? A short form video, a single post, a carousel post, an email header? What would you like to create?
Probably a what's the carousel
A
piece
carousel
there?
post. Okay, perfect. All right, so I would start in ChatGPT because I utilize the 2 of them together. So
Okay.
I would say I need a carousel post for, and I'm just putting what you put in chat, STEM-oriented workforce education and training. And where would you like to post this? On LinkedIn, on Facebook, where would you like to post it?
Most likely with LinkedIn.
Okay, perfect. Because the messaging will be different for, say, LinkedIn, which is more professional, than, say, TikTok, which is more kind of a free-for-all. But I'm going to
Yeah.
put for LinkedIn. Let's see what it comes up with. Strong B2B positioning, ready to post LinkedIn carousel. So I don't take what ChatGPT gives me word for word, and you would need to put your own experience and expertise on what it gives you. And that goes to everybody. But what a great place to start. So carousel slide 1, STEM-oriented workforce education and training, preparing today's teams for tomorrow's demands. Now, you could rephrase that however you want, but just for demonstration, I'm going to show you how I would work with this. So this would be my first scene, my first image for the carousel post. So we've got, let's see, we've got 8. I'm going to ask it to condense that. I'm going to say, let's make it 4 scenes. And you could do 8, whatever you want, again, just for this demonstration.
Okay. So I can adapt it to.
whatever
Yeah,
you need,
whatever I
right?
want to. Okay.
8 is pretty long for a carousel. I think 4 is actually better. But again, once you start posting, you can see what's working for you. So
Okay.
I would go into the Canva templates and we're going to look for carousel.
So this first step has been with ChatGPT to lay out its proposed
To get the text, to
carousel to
get
get
the
the text.
words that you're going to use, right?
Okay. All
So
right.
we're going to search for carousel posts. All right, so all of these are multi-scene posts, which is a carousel post. That just means it's not just one image, it's not a video. So you would just find one that you like for whatever reason. All right, so I'm just going to say this one because it has images. I'm going to say customize this template. And remember, if we go to ChatGPT, so this is their headline, oriented workforce training. So I'm just going to copy that. Put that right there. And
So the beauty of the ChatGPT is it gives you both the headline and the
right, and you can, customize and take out what is appropriate and what you don't want to keep. But
okay.
you can see that
Yeah.
I am changing it up just a little bit. So I'm going to make this smaller and wider over. Now, that cursive is very difficult to read. So all you have to do is on this, and you'll see that each one of the scenes is in this template is already there. We're just going to customize each of them. So
Okay.
I don't like that text because it's hard to read. So let's just switch it here. And I'm going to make that a little bit smaller. And same thing with this. I don't mind that. I'm going to leave that. So then what I would do, building teams, and I would make ready for what's next. And I'm going to make it bigger and bold. Okay. And then early bird tips, that could be where your business name goes there. This swipe I would keep because that lets people know visually, hey, this is a carousel post. So when you post it, they're going to pass through, swipe to the next page. Now you
So
see,
that's like the next.
yes,
Okay.
yes. And
All
that
right.
is actually on your image that you are going to be uploading. But you
Okay.
see there's a little bit of a scene here, right, that
Yeah.
lines up with this. So that's a little bit harder to do, but let me show you how I would do it. So STEM oriented workforce education and training. So if I go to elements and I'm gonna just, so what is the age group that you're working with?
I do actually from 11 to 18.
Okay, so I'm just gonna put in STEM training and let's just see if there's anything we can use. And if you are doing your own images, especially with kids, make sure, and this goes for adults too, everything you must have a model release on and that they have given you clear permission to use it to promote your business.
Yeah.
Okay, so for this, we're just gonna pick one of these and I'm going to, just as an example, drop this in. Now, that's probably not going to line up with her on this page, but let's just see where it drops. It's not too bad. No, here, and you need to see it together on something like this. You can see this one ends with blank space after the board. So I would just pull this over and let's see how that looks. And that would work. So when it goes from one scene to the next, it looks like the image is perfectly aligned. That's what I'm saying. On this, I love the look of it, but you have to finesse it just a little bit. And then on each of the, let's see, we made, this was DM Sands 42. And this was 42. Now, when you change in a template, a text or a color, typically at the bottom, you see this purple sign. This is such a lifesaver, change all. So now I don't have to go back to everyone where that cursive that was difficult to read. it has taken all that and saved me from having to do it on every page. Exactly.
So it changed the text in those, each one of them?
Yes, exactly. And it would do the same thing on the color also. So say you can see that this is kind of a beige color. If I go to this circle for background color, say I was going to make it this bluer color, same thing. You see a change all. That means every page now that background is blue. So it saves you a lot of time. And then every page, if you liked what ChatGPT gave you, then you would just take that into that section. So slide 2, you're not going to put in slide 2. Your headline is why it matters. And then this would be why it matters. And then you would just copy the next place for the text. Now here you're going to see, okay, so now it's falling off the page. You can either make the text smaller, which I don't recommend because you want to make it easy to read, or you can just drag it over so it's a little bit more, it's in the space, or you can ask ChatGPT, can you condense slide 2, right? Because that way, having too much little text that's hard to read, you can lose a lot of people.
Okay.
Perfect. Any questions on how to, get the content into your template?
The only other thing I would be if when you were mentioning too about the brief something moving or visual, if I did have a brief I don't know 3-second kind of thing, would that be something I could put in
So
easily
you
with
you
Canva?
can put not for LinkedIn. So you could make one of these things a video, right? You could make that a video. But you specifically mentioned LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is different. For a carousel post for Instagram or Facebook, you upload it as individual images and your video would play in there, right? You load it as a carousel, but individual images. In LinkedIn, you have to upload it as a PDF. So a PDF will not support video.
Okay, LinkedIn restricts you to PDFs then.
Correct. So to download it, you go to share and then download. And since you want all of it, you're either going to want them to be individual images. So I would suggest a JPEG, and it's going to download all of the pages and you will get it in a zip file. A clue to you, I would make this be page 2 or whatever you want to call it so you can find it, because you have to upload them in that order. And then that would work for anything except for LinkedIn. For LinkedIn, you're going to hit share and download, and you're going to share it as a PDF. And then you upload the PDF into LinkedIn.
Are you saying, okay, so in LinkedIn, it's not going to be individual?
It will still look like individual, but they have to have it uploaded as a PDF. Yeah.
One single PDF as opposed to several. Like
Correct.
each
One
slide is not
one
a
PDF. So let me see here if I can find an example. Let's see here. I know I do have some examples of PDFs.
And that's because it's a carousel, because as as we've seen,
Multiple things. So just like a carousel goes around, you're sweeping to see something new every time.
okay, because the other things in LinkedIn where we see the videos, those are because
Then those are videos, correct?
okay.
Right. Okay. So this is a video. So you can see it kind of has elements of the carousel because it had individual scenes before, but that is a video playing. And I believe this is a carousel. So let's see here. That's taking a long time to load here.
I was going to say, it takes carousels longer times.
No, I think that it's probably just a internet issue.
Okay. It's
Yeah.
traffic.
It's too bad because I would like to show that to you, but it does seem like the carousels are taking a long time to load. Yeah, because videos are coming up. Yep. Let me hit a refresh here and see if. Okay. So this is an example. This is a carousel post. So you can see it has 5 pages. You'll also see this little caret arrow telling you to click to the next page. So that caret arrow comes from LinkedIn, and it's showing you these individual pages that were uploaded as a PDF. So you can see each one is different, right? And every time you click on one, it goes to the next one.
But that arrow is not translated from the
Nope.
term that was
That
used.
arrow is generated by LinkedIn. But you having the swipe on there, I would just leave it there, because the other platforms you will want to have that. So I have no problem with there being a swipe and
Okay, it'll carry the
so,
swipe.
yep. So you can see here on this one, there's
Yeah.
the little caret from LinkedIn. Here's mine that says swipe for more. So it's just double enforcing. But this is a
Okay.
perfect example of a carousel. Before you hit record, feeling nervous on camera, you're not alone. Here's 3 quick tips. Then each page is one of the tips, right?
Okay.
So,
Okay.
and I worked on this exactly how we're talking, and this works for anybody in here. I went to ChatGPT. I said, here's what I want to do. It gave me some, suggestions, and I'm like, well, that's not quite right. So you work with it, you get it so it resonates for your brand. I picked a template that I liked in Canva, uploaded it, and it looks totally professional, totally professional.
Okay. Okay. Thank
Alrighty.
you.
Thank you, Samuel. All right. Let's see if we got anybody else that wants to work along here. Vincent is saying, I've seen LinkedIn GIFs or motion and posts. Yes, LinkedIn, absolutely. You can have GIFs, you can have video, but not in your carousel post, because your carousel post, when you upload to LinkedIn, has to be a PDF. But you saw examples on my LinkedIn that I was just showing you. There's videos all over the place, and GIFs absolutely work also, but again, not in part of your carousel. Can you post a single video to LinkedIn? Absolutely, yes. Heather says she uploads multiple images to LinkedIn regularly, and that's fine. You can upload multiple images, but again, it's not a carousel post like we're talking about doing. All right. Let's see, I saw another question here. Can I create your own carousel instead of using a template? Absolutely. So Sherry, do you want to unmute? Do you want to use a hand raise and unmute? Let's see what you're thinking about doing. Sherry, can you go ahead and raise your hand? Okay. So Sherry, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. So what are you thinking about doing that you don't want to use a template for?
Well, I go through all those templates and I just get lost. It's like an hour long to find something I like. And I thought, you know what? I have my own brand vision. I've done it I've been working on it for so long now that, I've done posts, I've done, what's what I'm trying to say? Banners, pop-up banners, things like that. So I have a whole bunch of stuff that I usually put in my posts.
Absolutely. So say you want to do a carousel post and you want to do it from scratch. You pick this first one over here on the left. So it's giving you the correct proportions, but it's blank. So you can do whatever you want. But just know that you can change any of these templates so it reflects your brand. So let me just show you, for example, if I picked this one, customize this template. So this background doesn't really reflect my brand. It's just crinkled paper. So I could click that and I could say edit, or I could go to magic background. It says describe your background, and I'm going to put simple white table in an office. I'm going to have it generate the background. You can do whatever you want. You could make it plain white, but I'm just showing you how much customization you can do in a template. And the only reason I like templates is that the heavy lifting is done. You can totally change it. Okay, so it's giving me 4 options. Oh, that's not bad. Here's another one, flowers. Okay, I didn't really ask for flowers. Not bad. Okay, I'm going to say that, kind of what I asked for. And then you can see that it did not go to all of the other background. So this would be a little different, but what I can do is click on this and go to position, and then I can, I gotta make Canva go up a little higher, detach image from background, and now I have that as an image that I can take into all of the rest of them and swap out the background for.
Yeah, I've done a lot of that with templates that I've been given to work with. I've created my own brand inside of them. I just have to get more, I guess, look at a template and realize, okay, yeah, this is the basic idea, and then I can
Yes.
put everything into it.
And that's how I do it. When I pick a template, it's because I like it for whatever reason. I don't even have to have a reason. I just like it. And then you can change the text to whatever your brand texts are. You put your logo on it. Again, totally custom. But say I just liked this layout, but maybe I didn't like the text, then I could easily go up to the text and go to one of my branded fonts. And then you see it doesn't quite fit, but not a problem. I can just make it smaller until it does.
Yeah.
So-
no, I've done a lot of creative stuff with Canva. I look at those templates and I just like lose my brain. My brain just goes like, I have no idea what I want to use.
And that's, I think, what I was referring to when I said, pick a few of them and customize them and then save it as a customized template. So when you go back next month, you don't have to go, oh, same thing, too many, what am I going to do? You've already picked like 3 or 4, you've already saved and branded as a template for you. So
Great idea.
that's
that makes a lot of sense. I just have to spend a little bit more time the first time looking for the one.
Exactly. Get them all so they look good, they're branded for you, and then save it as a template for you. Absolutely.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay, let's see. I see another hand raise here. I'm not going to pronounce your name wrong. Manji. I'm going to allow to talk. Can you hear me? I'm hearing nothing. One more time, I'm going to ask you to unmute.
I was speaking. I didn't realize that I was still unmuted.
Tell me how to pronounce your first name.
Yeah, I was laughing. I was stating that you did a good job in trying to pronounce it, so you were very close. It's mangi, like the fruit mango, mangi. So you did very good.
Okay, well, thank you. I was close. Okay, mangi. Yes. So what would you like to see in Canva? How can I inspire you to create something?
Yes, I just launched my brand 12 hours ago. So I'm very
congratulations.
Happy. And I created, yes, thank you, ma'am. And I created it in Canva far as the images and but here's my problem though, Ronnie. Whenever I'm saving an image, I name it, in the title page, and I name each page as well. I can't find it in the saved items. It's gone. It's like just it's not there. So I don't understand what is happening.
Okay,
so I download it. Where I could retrieve it from my own hard drive or wherever I saved it at, but I can't find it in Canva.
Okay, so I was just working in Canva, right? So we're going to go to our projects. And this is the one you see that these two I was just working on, right?
Yeah.
So if I click on this one or hover over this one, I can make a copy if I want to change some things and not mess up that one. I can move it, and this is the key, to move it to a folder. So if I say move, these are all my folders. It can go in any of them, or I can create a new folder to put it in. That's how you can find it. Things do get lost in Canva, 100%.
Oh, God, thank you. I thought I was imagining, but just please, one quick question. This is super vital and important. Whenever I'm saving the item, I go into the file, save, and then I'll create the folder I want it saved in, but it's not there.
Okay, so say that I want it.
It's also not in the group projects either.
So you need to create your folder first. Now, if I go over here to folders, right?
Yeah.
Then there's all my folders in there. Then I can say show more, see all. But say I'm working in home. And if I want to put this into a folder, move. If I search PACE, I already have PACE presentations. I'm going to put PACE samples. So I don't have a PACE sample in there. So we need to create a folder, and it's not giving me what I'm looking for.
It's not giving you the option to create a folder.
Yes, it does. It's right
Oh,
here.
there it is there. Okay, I
Create
got you.
new. Yeah, they hide that. It's hard to see. You would create your new folder, right? And that's where I would put it. Now here it's going, excuse me. Oh, that's why I have water here.
Well, this is how I normally save it. I save it in that manner there, except for I go to file, then save. But again, it's always, it's just, it can't be found. It's just very frustrating.
And the other place that things get lost is if you're working in an image and you've uploaded images, right? Or you've created images. This is where they really get lost. So for example, I made a couple of these images. You can see I can move them to where I want them to go, right? Because right now it's just unfiled, it's in uploads. But if I know this is going to go for presentations, then I move it to that presentation folder, or you can create a folder for images. But this is where they get lost, because look at how many images, it's forever. So if I don't put them into folders and name so that I can find them, they easily get lost.
Okay, so Ronnie, really quickly, how are you going to find the image in folder where you can go ahead and transfer that image in the folder from this section where you are now? What option do you have? Do you go into folder?
So I'm going to hover over this one, and I'm going to put it. Oh, it's already in a folder. What folder is it in? Oh, I removed it from folder. Great. Okay, I'm going to not remove from folders. So
what if you want to retrieve an image from the folder to put into this graphic?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. I want to find. Okay, so I'm going to go to folders, go here, and then I'm going to go to projects. Then my folders are here. Oh, see, I took this out of that folder, so I can move it to PACE. Okay, so now it's in the PACE folder. So if I go to folders, right, and I look for PACE, there's that image. All I have to do is drag it in there.
Wow.
So, yeah. And then for position, I can see where it is. And I don't like that it was so big, so I'm going to delete it and start again. And remember, I drug it in. I'm just going to click it this time, and now I can size it wherever I want.
Oh, okay, okay.
And then I can also take the background away. And now I can make it in front of the text. Look at that. Right? So you put it in the folder, you look under your projects for your folders, and then I was just able to click it right in there.
Wow, okay. I have to practice at home then, see what's going on, because this looks relatively simple, so I don't know what was going on in my end.
It's just finding where they are. And so my biggest tip is to put them in folders. Then you can look in, we're out of position. So
you're using Canva Pro, right? Or Business?
Canva Pro, yeah.
I have Canva Pro, but maybe I need to do Canva Business?
I don't think so. I'm using Pro, and all of these, everything I'm showing you is in Canva Pro. Yeah, exactly. And you go to the folder where it's at, and there it is, and you can click it in there.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely.
This was fun also. Thank you. I feel enlightened.
Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Martina's saying, what tool did I use to create your cartoon character? Well, Harmony 3 is really three of us, and one of us is an extremely talented illustrator, and she made cartoon is of all of us. So yes, Harmony 3, my company, yes. Okay, how do you create a template out of your edited template? All right, so let's see here. So let's go back to Canva Home and say we liked this one. Now you can start for your team, but I'm just going to make a copy of this one. I have to move Canva down a little bit. And then I'm going to open up the copy. And we're going to hit share. And typically it is in here. See where it says brand template? I can click on that. And it's going to share with your team members, or you can hit publish your brand template, turn this design into a reusable template, perfect for staying on brand, share with, and then specific team members or brand designers, admins only, depends on who you want to share that with, but that's how you can share it as a brand template. So yeah, it is in here under share. Yeah, and this gives you all the other options, but that's how you can save that as a brand template. Then when you go in to look under your brands, your templates will be in there. Okay, any other questions here? We still have time for anybody else who wants to raise your hand and see something live in action, how I'm using it. Samuel is saying, how often do I recommend we change our carousel posts? Weekly, monthly, otherwise, what factors should our frequency of change depend on? Your carousel post is just a post, just like you would post something to any of your social media content. So you're not changing it, you're just adding something new. Your posts stay forever, right? But people don't see them because the algorithm is showing them new stuff, right? So you would just create new posts. And yes, if you can post a couple times a week, that is great, but do whatever you can do consistently. If you can only post once a week, then post once a week. But if you can post 5 times a week, that's great, but then maybe it gets too hard and then you don't post for a while, that's not so great. The algorithm does not like that. So I would start by posting once a week very consistently. All right. Okay. Betty, I see a hand raise. Betty, can you hear me?
Yes, and hi, thank you.
Hello. Yes.
What if you're just starting and you want to just mess around and try to create a template? Is there some way like, oh, I like this photo that Canva has, and maybe I want to add this to it or that to it, like do a collage?
Sure. So same thing. I always start, here's Canva and it says, what do you want to do today? So if I type in collage, I'm going to look not at my designs, I'm going to look at templates. So all of these are templates that have to do with the word collage in it. So I would start by just picking one that you like for whatever reason. So say we liked this one. Then you just say customize this template. But you could pick any of them and customize. Change the text, change the font, change the images. So say we liked a certain image. So I'm just going to put snowing or snow with trees.
But you're still working with their 3-photo format.
But you could pick a template that had 12 different photos, right? But you can change the photos by just dragging in different scenes, right? But what if you decided, hey, I really want 6 photos, not 3, right? But you liked everything else about this? I would just move this down, duplicate this, and duplicate this. Now, all of a sudden you've got 6, but if you liked the other elements, otherwise just start with another template that you like that has multiple images, or create your own. Absolutely, you can totally create your own.
Can I ask you about, on the template page, one other one there?
Sure.
I think it was the second one next to the blank template.
And you're not always guaranteed I can get back there. You know what I'm saying? Because, well we'll try.
It did something that you did on one of your slides where I think you had it was a telephone and there was still some, there it is. The second one, black and white, and there's a photo of a woman, I think, and there's still white around the edge of her.
This one?
You do that? Yeah, can you just command it to take a photo and cut things out like that?
Yes. So let's just look over here under uploads. Okay, there's a picture of me. First of all, I got to get rid of the background, just hit background remover. Boom. Then I'm going to go to, I believe it's edit. Haven't done this one in a while. Shadows, outline, And I'm going to make that outline white. Boom, there it is. Whoop.
Wow, that's pretty easy.
Yeah, very easy. So it's just a matter of finding the tools, but that looks pretty much like that gal that's already in there, right?
So would you ever use Adobe Illustrator or Photoshop for anything anymore?
I use Photoshop all the time because I can do much more fine tuning and I mean, I've used Photoshop for decades. Illustrator, I'll use if I have to, like if I'm working with, elements that are maybe done in Designer or Illustrator. There's certain, I don't like to use that program. I'm not as familiar with it, but pretty much you can do pretty much everything that you need here in Canva, especially if you know Illustrator and you know Photoshop. So I was just going to show you on this that I was just going to get rid of the gal behind me. Now there I am, and she was in black and white. I can go to edit, and let's see for filters. I know and she was black and white there, black and white. So that was in seconds. I could in no way do it that fast in Photoshop or Illustrator.
But you can do your own handwriting in Photoshop and Illustrator. You couldn't do your own handwriting on this, right?
So how would you do your own handwriting in Photoshop?
Oh, I wouldn't. I would do Illustrator.
So how would you do it in Illustrator?
They have like a pen or something, or a blob brush or different brush.
So they do have a pen, but it's really, to me, awkward to use in here. Like if you just wanted to use a pen tool to write with, but I'm using my mouse. So if you were using a pad with a pen, you probably could. You probably could.
Or just import it as a photo, like write something on an iPad or something.
Yeah, and I would import it as a PNG with transparent background, and then you could easily drop it in.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Perfect. Absolutely. Okay, I think we have time maybe for one more quick one. Yes, so anybody else want to raise your hand and play along here? Or anybody has another question?
I have a question.
Yes.
When you're creating a business image, I'm saying business for a reason. Is it okay to use multiple types of fonts? Like I see the image that you have here, it looks like it's two different types of fonts that you're using. One that's for the header, the title, and the other that's not you're using that this has. And it has as far as the paragraph, that's a different type of font, I'm believing.
Absolutely. Now,
how many can you use max?
So you can use 1,000. Is it going to look good? I don't think so. Using a template, the templates are created by designers who know what they're doing. So I like to start with a template for that very reason. Now, am I going to like that font? I don't know until I start to work with it. I do have branded fonts for things that I'm creating for my business. So this here, they're calling the font Drunken Hour. It works for that. Could I use that? Yep, I sure could. But what about this, where it's CANVA Sans? Now, my uploaded fonts for body copy is Montresant or Monterrasa. I don't even know how to pronounce it. But I just change it because that's my font that I use all the time. So again, I'm going for brand consistency. But because this is so different, I might want to use it sometime. I might not. I might want it to use my branded font. Same thing. Go back up into there. My branded font for headlines is Helvetica. So whatever you want to do. But if you are not a graphic designer, I would not go into mixing a ton of fonts because you don't know the basis of why fonts work in the weight of the font and which fonts go well with each other. That's a whole learning process. And I use a template because the people who created them are designers, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. What should be the line of thought, though, if you are going to use a particular font? Because that is one of the hardest areas for me when I'm creating a text. I have a beauty and I have a fashion line. I want to be enticing.
So what you're saying is you did not work with the designer to give you your brand kit. So what your colors, your fonts are. I
have the brand kit for the colors, not the text though. No.
Okay. So typically setting up your original design, a lot of companies will work with a brand designer who understands those things. If you are doing it yourself, I would do some research. Ask ChatGPT what type of fonts work best for a beauty line. What type of fonts would work for a headline? What type of fonts would work for a subject line or body copy? And since you don't know, ChatGPT is a wonderful way to see, and then it will give you some ideas, and then you can test it and see if you like. And once you get something that you like, put that in your brand kit and be consistent with it.
You are a rock star, young lady. Thank you. Totally. Wow.
Perfect. And then just one caveat, we're at our hour, but if you are doing setting up your brand by yourself, the one thing I absolutely want you to be careful of is your logo. You can't just take elements and make a logo. Logos are very, very specific on things you can use for a logo. So heads up, again, you need to be the advocate for your own businesses, but that's one thing that I do see a lot of people think that, oh, I can just take this, picture and put it a part of my logo, and typically you can't. So thank you everybody for playing along today.
Ronnie, I just had a quick question. The Canva that we are using, is that the version you were showing me? That's the Pro you were saying?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is the paid version.
Use the Pro.
Yeah.
Okay, then. All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Ronnie. Once again, that was a great webinar. We learned so much.
And thank you for everybody for playing along, because that in real time showing how we do something, it helps everybody. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, our webinar is 2 weeks from today, March 5th, and we'll be talking about easy tools to show up online. And Ron is going to show us how to make the contents easily. So make sure you join us for that one as well. Thank you.
Thank you so